My ex-wife looked across the mediation table with that smug smile I had grown to hate. Her lawyer slammed a stack of papers down and said, "It's simple. She wants 50% of the assets, the house, the cars, the savings accounts, everything down the middle." She expected a fight. She expected me to beg, scream, and plead to keep my hard-earned money. Instead, I leaned back, took a sip of water, and said, "Okay, give her exactly what she wants." Her smile got even wider. She thought she had just won the lottery. She completely forgot that in our state, 50% of marital assets also means 50% of marital liabilities. She was so focused on the bank account, she forgot about the massive business loan she co-signed 3 years ago. Here is how I let my greedy ex-wife inherit $150,000 of debt. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and see it through to the end. We're always curious, where in the world are you all watching from today? Let us know in the comments. To understand why this was so satisfying, you have to understand Sarah. Sarah didn't work, but she had very expensive taste. For 10 years, I worked 60-hour weeks to fund her lifestyle. We had the big house, the 2 luxury SUVs, and the vacations to Bali. But what Sarah ignored was that we were leveraging everything to pay for it. About 6 months ago, Sarah sat me down. I thought she was going to thank me for the new car I'd just leased her. Instead, she told me she needed space. She said she felt stifled. What she actually meant, and what I found out later, was that she had met a personal trainer named Kyle who had 0 money but a lot of free time. The divorce proceedings started immediately. I actually tried to be nice. I told her, "Look, we have a lot of debt. How about you take the car, I'll give you $20,000 cash to get settled, and we call it even." She laughed in my face. She told me I was trying to cheat her. She said, "I know how much this house is worth. I know how much your business makes. I want half of everything. No deals." She hired a shark of a lawyer who sent me a terrifying letter demanding a forensic audit of my finances. She wanted to squeeze every single penny out of me so she could fund her new life with Kyle. I was panicked. I went to my lawyer, ready to liquidate my retirement just to pay her off. My lawyer, an older guy who had seen everything, started looking through the balance sheet. He adjusted his glasses, looked at me, and asked, "Does she realize that your business loan and the home renovation loan are in both of your names?" I paused. She co-signed them years ago because the bank required it, but she's never paid a cent toward them. She probably forgot they exist. My lawyer smiled. It was a scary smile. He said, if she is demanding a strict 50-50 split of the marital estate, she can't pick and choose. She takes half the assets, but she legally has to take half the debt. Let's stop fighting her. Let's draft a proposal giving her exactly what she asked for. We spent the next 2 weeks pretending to be defeated. We sent emails acting like we were scared to lose the house. This made Sarah and her lawyer more aggressive. They thought they had me on the ropes. They demanded a binding mediation session to sign the final papers. That brings us back to the conference room. Sarah was checking her watch, probably late for a date with Kyle. Her lawyer pushed the final settlement agreement across the table. My client is entitled to 50% of the equity in the home, 50% of the joint checking, and 50% of the business evaluation. I looked at them and said, "We agree. In fact, we've prepared the final balance sheet based on those terms." My lawyer handed them our document. Sarah's lawyer started reading. He nodded at the house value. He nodded at the bank accounts. Then he got to page 3, liabilities. His face dropped. He whispered something to Sarah. "What?" she asked, loud enough for everyone to hear. "What is that?" "It's the SBA loan and the HELOC," her lawyer muttered. "They are joint liabilities." Here was the math. The assets she wanted half of totaled about $400,000. The debts attached to those assets totaled $550,000. Because the house market had cooled and the business had taken a loan to expand, our net worth was actually negative. My lawyer spoke up, his voice calm and professional. As per your demand for a 50-50 split of the entire marital estate, Sarah is entitled to $200,000 in assets. However, she is also responsible for $275,000 in debt. That leaves a balance of $75,000 that she owes to the estate to equalize the division. The room went dead silent. Sarah looked at her lawyer. Wait, I have to pay him? Technically, my lawyer said, you'd be paying the bank. But since my client has been servicing the debt alone, you would need to reimburse him for your share, or refinance the loans into your own name immediately. Sarah didn't have a job. She didn't have credit. She certainly didn't have $75,000. Her lawyer tried to backtrack. Well, obviously we can negotiate, perhaps a lump sum settlement? I cut him off. No, you said strict 50-50. You rejected my offer of the $20,000 in the car. You dragged me here. You demanded this. Sign the paper. In the end, Sarah didn't pay me $75,000. She didn't have it. But she did have to sign a new agreement. To avoid taking on the debt, she had to walk away with nothing. She got her car, which she has to make the payments on, and her clothes. That's it. No payout, no alimony, no share of the house. I absorbed all the debt, which I can manage because I have the income, and I kept all the assets. Last I heard, things with Kyle didn't work out once the money tap ran dry. She's currently living in a small apartment and working as a receptionist. Me? I'm enjoying the silence in my house, and every time I pay a bill, I smile, knowing I'm paying for my freedom. Moral of the story? If you're going to try to take someone for everything they have, make sure you check the price tag first. Thanks for watching. My ex-wife wanted 50% of everything. I gave it to her. Literally. If you enjoyed this story, kindly like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.